What's up, everybody? This is your boy Abe, and you're now tuned in to the most exciting show coming out of a tub, BPI Sports Podcast, The Scoop. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Scoop. I'm your host, Abe, and my guest today is my friend, a great artist, and a newfound bodybuilder. So I'd like to welcome Juan. That's my boy. I'd like to welcome my boy Juan. Juan, you can say hi to everybody if you want.
Hey, thank you for having me,
nice
Abe. I appreciate the opportunity, man.
Awesome, brother. Well, it's always nice to have people here who are your friends because it makes it so much easier to talk. Reason why I had you in here as well, too, is you have two big events coming up. No bullshit. Juan is an artist. He has an amazing gallery of art. I mean, you got to go through it all to see it all. I haven't even seen it all. I only get some of the spoils I get to see when he shows me and the stuff he gets to post. And, of course, the ones that I can't afford. But which is like 90% of the artwork. But before we jump into the bodybuilding side, Juan, why don't you give somebody give some of the people a breakdown to your art background? Like, what's your inspiration to art, and when did you start?
Basically, right after college, man. I just it was something that it was always a passion of mine since I was a kid, and it was just like it was a calling. You know, it was just a matter of time before I woke up, and one day I decided to pick up the brush and said, you know, let me try this. Let me give it an attempt. I always did a lot of drawing and stuff like that, but never really picked up, you know, brush and canvas. And once I started dabbling with it, I just fell for it, you know, and it was like, it was definitely in my DNA. So
now, was that something you studied at college, or you went in for like business and you were just like?
I was actually, you know, architecture, you know, background. Wow. That's what I wanted to do, interior design, and, you know, just something artistic was always a passion, you know. So one thing led to another. I mean, I always had it in me to do the art, and it just like it clicked, and I started doing the art, and it was like you know, a passion that I just never let it go, and it grew from there. I started doing interior designer at one point, and incorporating my artwork within the projects, and that started doing better than the interior design itself. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go one route and just keep doing this. And I dropped the interior design and just did full blown art.
Yeah, so, just full out painting the whole canvas, everything.
Yeah, and I started like everybody else, you know, with the figures and the figuratism and the figurative art and the classical. I'm a self-taught artist, so I did some art appreciation classes and, you know, humanities. They teach you some art and stuff like that, but really everything else was self-taught. I followed my favorite masters, and I went from through different periods of cubism and figuratism, and then abstract, and then I just fell in love with abstract, and then, you know, that's what I started doing. Yeah.
Where I always see your pictures. Obviously, some of the fans will be able to check it out. Obviously, we'll drop off your IG before we sign off with you and so forth. But because I've seen them, and they look like, you know, like murals. What's the largest piece you've ever done?
Well, I do love to work large format because I think abstract looks amazing in large format. So I got pieces that are 10 feet, 120 inches wide, you know, 10 feet by 8 feet tall, you know, size of a wall.
How long does that take to paint?
You know, it all depends, man. Sometimes you get the muse and the fire and you just get on it and, you know, you kill it in a week. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 weeks.
That's the thing, you know, picking up the idea, like you said, the muse to it, like, I mean, is it like a writer's block? Is it something you wait on because you have like an idea, or does it just like show up, or you just...
You know, abstract to me is very subconscious, you know, so it's not even something that you think about. It's something that you dabble on, and you just jump on it, you start working on it, you step back, you look at it, you say, okay, this is going to work. You know, 9 out of 10 times it's not on, but that one time that you do hit it, it's like, man, this is what I'm talking about. You know, that's exactly how I hit it.
Shit, that's what's up. What's up. Now, you've had obviously dramatic transformation, and this is outside of, well, you know, we can connect it to the art world, but now that you've been training, and we'll go into that, you started training and lifting when?
I want to say March of 2018, I started training again.
You started training again. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And this time you were just training all around for overall health.
Yeah, I was just trying to lose some body fat and, get back in shape and get my shit together. And pretty much one thing led to another. It started getting better and better, and just I started feeling better, and then I started training with a purpose, with small goals and stuff like that to achieve certain look and certain detail, and then I started going from powerlifting to more of the bodybuilding type of detail work, and that's how.
Does any of the art to the bodybuilding being your both passions? It seems like, do either of them have a connection? Like, is there a focus? Have you ever, I don't know, crushed a workout and come home and say, damn, I'm inspired. I thought of something while I was at the gym and it hit me, and now I can come home and kind of like put it together?
Yeah, sometimes, man, the workouts definitely alter your mood in different ways, and sometimes I'll step in the studio after a training session, and I'm like, I'm in the mood for this. Sometimes I'm just completely depleted and I don't even want to see a canvas. But, once I do get some fire from my workout and stuff like that, and sometimes I do, have ideas that, generate while I'm training and stuff like that, I got to just, get out of the gym and run into a studio and at least jot it down, put it on canvas, and then may, elaborate on it later. But, yeah, sometimes it happens like that. It's like Kai Green, it's like, he's an artist, he's a bodybuilder, so he kind of like builds and shapes his body according to his visual, artistic mind, and I kind of do the same.
Yeah, the same figure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I feel you. I definitely feel you on that. Do you have anything, like, obviously, when you go into the gym, before you set up, you drink your aminos, you drink your pre, you get all set up to get ready for the gym. Is there anything else different in your routine before you go into like doing, well, not doing, but painting? Like, is it music? Is it?
Yeah, I do. I like painting on classical music. I put on my classical music. It allows me to like zen out, mellow out. It gives me a smooth transition to my thought process, and then it allows me to step back and look at my canvas, whether it's blank or with some work on it, and take it from there. And sometimes, the music does, inspire me to put down different themes. And I kind of like work on series, so I try to plan my work where I'm going to do a series of 6 of 12 pieces, and then I try to keep a coherence between the pieces. So.
Nice. Hopefully we can get a side by side, and we can post them up, and everybody who's watching, they'll get to see this. And if you don't get the chance to, just make sure you go check out our YouTube page. We'll definitely have this uploaded, and hopefully we can get this side by side. But when you fell out of shape, what was the max weight you went up?
Man, I've been up to 308 pounds.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
308?
308, and I'm only 5'7", so figure that. Yeah.
And currently now you weigh
About 210.
210.
Yeah.
308 to 210. And you're solid now. You're
Yeah.
completely solid. You're strong as an ox. How was that, like, that bounce back on the way to it? Like, I'm doing a trainer now, 8-week program. And obviously you've seen me in the gym through and through, or
Right.
we follow each other online. So I know you've seen the emotional stress up and down when my shoulder was bum. And then I was gone for 3 months, and, I got this opportunity, and I'll tell you, just getting into it, I don't know if you took that time off, but getting back into it, shit, I think, honestly, at the beginning, it did have a rough patch. Like, you're super motivated, and then it's like when you're in the process, it starts to just, like, have its, like, little decline. And obviously, little things here and there have a pick-me-up. And I honestly, my pick-me-up was, I was later on in the weeks, and I actually had my very first fan. I would have to go into my phone, which I'm not going to do right now, but I'll give that person a shout-out later. Actually reached out to me and was like, is it possible to do the 8-week trainer in this manner and such? And I was like, damn, I actually reached one person. I was like, if I could reach one person, this is good enough for me. And it did. It reached one person. I was like, something's working. Something's working. Obviously, I wanted to reach more than one person. Everybody here is working hard on, the editorial and just all the material. So these guys do an amazing job. I love working with them. That's fucking one of my best parts of my days.
Yeah, definitely.
But how was that struggle? I mean, obviously you see my struggle. My inspiration was
it's crazy, man. It's detrimental. You have many ups and downs. You know, it's like you go in there, fire it up.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a big jump. Like that's like
sure.
a clear 100-pound jump. I don't know if anybody's ever. I mean, my biggest deficit was 30 pounds.
Well, this time around when I started, I was probably in the 240s, you know, and it was like, you know, I go in there with sweats, you know, and they just did a lot of cardio and stuff like that, thinking that this is the way to go, you know. It's like a lot of people don't realize you kill yourself with cardio. The body just wants to hold on to the fat for survival, and it becomes much harder. So you even hit it harder, you diet even harder, you deplete yourself, and you know, you have your mental, emotional downs, you know, and then you have to just, you know, keep grinding. Say, I've come this far, you know, I got to keep at it, you know, if you want to see, you know, some sort of progress. So. It's been tough, but you know, it's like once you get past that initial gate, man, it's like you know, it's just ride it till you achieve your goal, you know.
Yeah. Now, for a lot of people who are watching, obviously they're not gonna get this next part because they didn't obviously see the torment, but I want to get your breakdown, your comparison, and I'm pretty sure your coach would want to see this too. So when I met you and I would torture you, you were on a keto diet and I was on like an all McDonald's BK.
Oh, crazy, man. Yeah.
I was eating fast food like every day of the week.
I was suffering
twice a day.
Carbs, yeah.
And I nonstop tagged you just to make you mad. And then now you switched your diet. I've never seen you look any better. Like, definitely. I mean, obviously, you look way fuller, so the coach is killing it.
Right.
But even though when you were on keto, I was still super impressed. You did a lot of great work. I'm not knocking the keto diet. I'm just saying I don't think there was a way you were going to get on stage being keto and winning.
Right. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Can you? Yes.
You know, you can, you know, like I used to say, you can get jacked on keto, you know, but it's like what I did was, you know, remarkable considering, but still never enough to get on stage with, you know, just without carbs, you know.
The way I compare it is obviously.
I used it a lot for fat burning.
You know, we're going to keep it real here. I mean, obviously, you see the guys who are natural, they're natty.
Right.
And they go on stage and you're like, man, that guy looks really good. And you see him in that first call out. But then when those guys come in and they're cranked full of gear and they stand next to him, they're like, dude, look how hard that guy looks.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, this guy looks like aluminum foil compared to a piece of metal.
Exactly.
Literally.
Right.
Like, there's no way this guy's that sharp.
Right.
And obviously, you can't match up. But do you look good? Of course, you look amazing. I mean, you looked amazing. You completely ripped. You were totally lean. You know, it's just... I feel like it's a different push-pull for the bodybuilding.
Oh, you definitely lack that density when you're not on keto, you know, when you're not on carbs and stuff like that. You know, you don't fill up as nice. You don't get that massive pump. You don't get that glycogen stored in the muscle. You don't get that water and you know, retention in the muscle. You're basically, you know, burning beta hydroxybutyrate, you know, fat. And, you know, and by burning fat, you look better, you look leaner, but never that full pump, you know?
What would you determine now, your strength? Obviously now you're cutting carbs and you're cycling in and out.
Right, cycling, yeah.
So how would you say your strength when you're on keto? Because I would go to the gym and I'm like, man, look at Juan, he's on keto. What the hell is he doing? Like, I wonder what keto he's doing. I'm like, I'm gonna actually go buy pink Himalayan salt and start putting this shit in my food because I'm like, I see Juan crushing the weights and I'm like, man, you know what? Let me see what's up. And I obviously looked into it and I dabbled into it and I was like, man, it's getting there. But I feel like the diet, you know, to a certain extent on the body, whether it be weight loss or like in a muscle building manner, I feel like you're just gonna meet a plateau. Like, really, how skinny can you get being on keto where it's not gonna, like, where you're not gonna peak? You know what I mean? Like, you there's only so much like weight you can lose.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna ride this out. And then I feel like the strength as well. But I looked at you training and I was like, damn, Juan is strong as shit. Like, how was that, like, compared to now? Do you feel your strength jacked now?
Yeah, but it's crazy because I was doing 500-pound deadlifts and I was doing, 365 incline bench presses for reps and I was on keto and I was like, Now I'm doing more of a bodybuilding approach with carbs, and I do less weight but a different type of intensity, the different type of rep, more concentrated, more pause, more tension on, time under tension, and it's just a totally different approach. And I just I feel way better, and I feel like I'm protecting myself from injury as well.
Yeah,
and keto is is a little bit on the fragile side. You can push and try to prove the point that you could get jacked on keto, but at the same time, it's not the same type of effect.
You're just gonna have to give it a little more of an effort. How would you judge the? Because you do a lot of cardio. How would you grade the cardio from the keto side to where you are right now toward the competition side? With the carb cycling versus the keto, how's your cardio? Is it about the same?
No, now I'm doing less cardio than I did before, and I'm on more carbs. It's like before I was doing a lot of intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And I will go in on a fasted state, and I will do cardio, and then of course you burn fat. You have no other source of energy. You're tapping into your fat cells, and and that's what got me lean. But other than that, now I'm eating carbs and just trying to maintain that muscle fullness. And I think that eating more now revs up your metabolism, and then working a different type of intensity requires less cardio, and you still maintain a good leanness and muscle mass. You keep it, and you're still strong enough.
Nice. So nothing obviously coming from someone who, I would say you dominated that diet as far as keto goes, and
it served its purpose for sure.
You definitely gave it a hell of a name. I've never seen anybody on the diet look as good as you. And that being not in an ad or something that was unreal, and at your age, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shit, the determination is through the roof. So with that being said, obviously you guys know keto is the real deal. This guy's living proof of it right here. Complete bodybuilding physique, ready to step on stage. But again, coming from Juan, you would have to fill out a little more. So
for sure.
If you're going to hit the show, make sure to eat.
Yeah, I hired a new coach. I hired a new coach for this prep, and immediately when he sent me the first diet, I was like, "Whoa, that's a lot of food, man! I can't even eat all this. I'm gonna have to, put it through my pressure cooker, blend it, and then swallow it like a baby puree because this is so much food. I can't even, I couldn't even imagine this amount of food going down." And I started like that, and then little by little, he says, "Listen, it's better to chew on it. Get your metabolism. It's like the solid pieces inside your system will make the metabolism work a little harder and stuff like that. And that's part of the process,
That's me and Mike. Me and Mike are on the baby rice. We ain't scared of it.
Yeah, man, that Gerber rice is good. Though. Serious, yes.
We are not scared of it at all.
That's good stuff. So now I'm eating solid all the time, and I enjoy it, man. I have my 6 meals a day. And,
I saw
plenty of macros.
All that fish you ate, I was like, God, this is just terrible. That's why I asked you the other day at the gym. I'm like, how the hell you eat all that fish, dude? I can't.
And when you're hungry, you look forward to it, so it's like...
Trust me, I'm stubborn enough. I get hungry and I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I would blend it like you.
Yeah.
That was actually my next question. I was gonna go into what your prep was and the whole competition. Like, when did you come up with the idea that you wanted to do the competition? Mm-hmm. And how did you go about picking your coach as well?
Well, I have a good friend of mine, Eddie, that trained with me over at Retro Fitness, and he recommended Heinz. Heinz Senior is IFBB pro trainer up in Boca in Busybody Gyms, and he just says, come and see this guy. He might get you right if you want to do a show and stuff like that. And I said, let me go to him and see, maybe I can do a diet and see how it feels out and stuff like that. Not even considering any particular show in mind. And I went to see him. He gauged me. He did the caliper fat test on me. At that point, I was 9.16% body fat, and he gave me a diet. And I started working with him, and I think I went in there like 14 days later. I had dropped down to like 7% body fat. He gave me my first cheat meal at 21 days. And
What'd you eat? Cheat meal.
I went to Shula Steakhouse, and I ate me a big double fat burger with bacon and, sloppy, as hell, and sweet potato fries, real nice and salted. And I was like, it felt like a bomb, man. It was like, then, the next
Yeah.
day it was just like, I woke up leaner. I was like, what the hell? It just
Oh,
revs
yeah.
up your metabolism,
Yeah.
and it keeps you cranking, So,
But again, that only occurs when you're in a well-conditioned state. I don't want people to think like, I've been 2 weeks in, I ate my cheat meal, and
Right.
I'm gaining weight.
Right.
Yeah, that's what normally is going to happen. You're going to gain weight the first few weeks. So, again, anybody who's listening, that's not the order.
Yeah, exactly.
Juan had been months into the game, and pretty much it's simple: stay away from junk food.
Oh yeah.
And be good to yourself.
Yeah, I suffer watching you with all those cakes and everything you were baking all the time. I was like, man, look at this guy, he's killing me. It's like, I was suffering.
I did bring you pieces of those cakes, or you would pass by sometimes, and I would make sure to hook you up with those.
Yeah, for sure.
Just in case. It's better to keep you out of Mickey D's that way as well. Yeah. Now, your prep. So, obviously, you explained the food is much different, and when it comes down to it, any, like, supplementation BCAAs that you depend on or look forward to drinking? Like, I drink now 1.5 gallons of water a day, sometimes more, depending on just how thirsty I get. Right. But, I mean, it's a plus. Obviously, I drink my BCAAs twice a day. And then I have my one more rep, and I also have my protein shake.
Yeah, I use one more rep also for myself for my pre-workouts. I use BCAAs, best BCAAs. Nice. And, I've been using that for, the whole prep time, and I use it probably twice a day. I'm drinking about 1.5 gallons of water. I know at this stage, I'm 6 weeks out. My coach is going to have me all the way up to 3 gallons of water a day. 3 gallons. Then he starts cutting back the water. And then I still continue to deplete water from my system. And then he says he'll have me backstage that even show day drinking 1 gallon of water a day when everybody else is, being dehydrated and, and stuff like that. So, and then he'll, play the push and pull with the carbs and stuff like that to get me right.
That's gonna be the move.
Yeah.
So, what's the show coming up now that you're going to compete in? What show is that?
That's a holiday classic, NPC Holiday Classic by Mel Chansey. And the Westin Hotel on the beach in Fort Lauderdale.
Right here in Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Nice. Right here.
December 14th, yeah.
Perfect. We'll make sure to stop by and I'll obviously go by, just show some love, see you do your thing out there as well too.
Appreciate
we're not going to hate on that. So then, are you going into this? This is your first show, correct? Okay, cool. So you're going in, obviously, are you going in with that mentality? I know a lot of people are like, hey, it is what it is. Whatever happens, happens. Or are you going in with the mentality like, look, it's my time.
Right.
I'm going in for the win.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I'm going all in. It's like me. It's me personally. My own personal goal is like I'm bringing my best package. You can never, fight the genetics of other freaks that come up and and kick your butt. If it happens, it happens. But it's like I'm gonna give my all. It's like I'm 110+% type of guy. I don't do anything half-assed, and I don't go up there just to fill up the stage.
What weight class? Speaking of the stage, what weight class are you gonna be in?
I'm leaning towards a light heavyweight. So I'm probably at the top of it at 198.
198.
Yeah, so I'm probably.
I think you're gonna make that. I think you're gonna make that. I think your legs are definitely gonna be trouble for a lot of those guys at that weight. Definitely, your legs and back are gonna pose, from what I've seen, a problem. And been to plenty of shows and seen it all. How's the whole routine? Is that new to you? Like the posing, the flexing, the conditioning to that is tough, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably the toughest part of the whole prep. It's incredible. Yeah. I just started with Coach Andre Vaughn, and he's just amazing, man. But it's just like icing on the cake. The workouts are crucial. They're just like they deplete your everything out of you. They really get you in top condition. I sweat more in that session with him than I do in my cardio session. It's it's intense. And we go for 35 minutes. We do 3-4 rotations of 9 mandatory poses, and it's crazy, man.
It's tough. It's not easy. I mean, a lot of people think like, I'm just gonna go on stage and quarter turn to the left, quarter turn to the left, quarter turn to the left.
It's holding, contracting from head to toe. It's like and breathing, and that's the most important part.
Of course, because if these guys see that your face is just struggling, the judges are gonna be like, this guy is not conditioned.
Yeah, or shaking or whatever, or sweating yourself,
And again, you're depleted. So if you cramp,
Right, exactly.
It's not going to be easy to pull that off. Like
Exactly.
you can't just like rub a cramp off.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough part of the prep, but you know, it's been fun learning the tricks, you know, because it's a lot of, you know, stuff. A lot of people think they know how to pose until you get a real coach, you know.
Well, a lot of things happen where people's first show they lose because they couldn't pose as well as the guy next to him, or the guy, or whoever they get pinned in the middle.
With inferior bodies, they win.
Of course,
by good posing.
Yeah. You're gonna just lose on the cards. I mean, even if the guy's smaller, like you said, he might have an inferior body, but he might shut you down or make you look smaller or put you in the shadow, and it just is what it is. You know, you see it happen all the time, and
right.
It's just
just knowing how to display your strong parts and hide your weaknesses and stuff like that is very important. Yeah.
Now, we talked about this as well, too, me and you at the gym. You were actually telling me after you did this show, you weren't going to stop. You had plans for another show. What would be the next big thing for you?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, I want to, you know, maintain condition as far as I can and see if I can run something in, you know, early 2020. And, you know, like another type of, you know, gauge for me to maybe jump into Masters and Nationals in Pittsburgh next year. Damn. That would be my biggest goal, and you know maybe take a shot at the IFBB Pro card, you know, at Masters and go from there. You know, what happens is, you know, a lot of people in NPC you can, you know, play forever. You can do all the shows every year, and once you get IFBB Pro, it doesn't mean you're ever going to win another show in your life. But you know, it's regardless, it's a huge accomplishment. You know.
It's a high climb up that mountain, and sometimes when you get there, I mean, you're just so gassed.
Right.
And then again, it's like you start over.
Right. For me, it's a goal that just makes you step up your level to the next level, you know. And then you know you got to either keep up with it. I'm not at an age where I'm going to compete for many years. You know, I'm just having fun with it. So to achieve it is just a beautiful goal for me. You know? Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's awesome.
A milestone.
Man. So definitely first time around. Obviously, you're taking care of this show on December. Right? December 14th. And then in November, you also have a art show coming up.
Yeah, I got signed to a gallery in Doral City Place, Re-Envision Art Gallery in Doral City Place, and they signed me up now, and they're going to do their first grand opening now, and I'm part of that exhibition, so you know, looking forward to it.
You have obviously I'm not sure if you've made them already, but I'm sure you have to work on several pieces for them.
No, they already have 17 pieces of mine in there.
Okay, cool. So there's 17 pieces out there.
Yeah.
So you got 17 pieces going out there. You're balancing obviously your diet, your prep. You make your time for pretty much 2 a days, making your meals. You know, getting to the gym, obviously, and
taking my daughter to school.
Taking your kids to school.
Yeah.
You have how many kids do you have again, Juan?
I got 3 boys that are all grown, and then 2 little girls now.
Look at that, a family of 5 right there.
Hands
obviously
full,
6 with the wife. So you got an entire house. Everything's balanced. I mean, you know, is there ever a day where you're just like, wow, like I'm overwhelmed?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time, man. You just, you know. You just fight through it, you know. It's like take it a day at a time and just, you know, enjoy the process. That's it, you know.
I mean, I know you're like me, and I have days where I walk into the gym and I just like
dragging ass, man.
I get not even a dragging ass. Like I can deal with myself dragging ass. I can't deal with when I get into the gym and I'm just so annoyed by the day that I'm like, man, is this day really going to mess up my workout?
Right.
I'm like, I'm not having that.
Exactly.
And I'll go in and like
kill it.
sometimes you're like in the midst of killing it, and then your focus starts to break and you're like, oh God, please just like hold it together. You know, and I feel like, you know, a lot of people use that as an excuse a lot of the times where they're just like, you know, I got my family, I got my job, I got all these things.
Yeah.
But their hobbies are just their base hobbies, and they're not any kind of passion to them.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people, whether it's with work, school, or however they dedicate themselves, if they can find any dedication as you have, I mean, I think all around they would just absolutely crush it. And to help out with that, actually, we got you some goods here. I actually
awesome.
saw you rolling through, so we went and pulled some stuff. Why don't you grab that shirt right there up top?
Awesome, man.
I think that's the one you wanted.
Oh, yeah, man. I love this.
I think that's the donut one you wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously. And then
Thank you,
we got some more products in there as well there for you as well, too.
Oh, beautiful.
I mean, just any
One
little
more
bit that's going to help.
That will help for
You're
sure.
definitely going to always need pre.
Oh, BCA is the best.
BCAs.
Yep.
Of course.
Awesome. Smart burn. Awesome.
Smart burn.
You know what? I haven't tried this one, but I'm looking forward to it.
You're really going to like the mental focus on that.
Yeah?
That one gets you super dialed in. Super dialed in.
Yeah, you need that sometimes, man, because it's just like...
well, obviously, sometimes the energy sets in and, it's not here.
Lately, I've been using the model, dig deep, man. Dig deep because, it's hard, It's like... And strength gains. I haven't tried this one either.
Strength gains.
Yeah.
So that's a great creatine-based product, but it does also contain 5 grams of carbs.
Oh,
so
nice.
You might have to cut
a
little off the plate just in case before going into the gym. But that's something I think you would like as well.
Oh, definitely,
too.
man. I appreciate it.
Try to get you the flavors that I like to hook you up with.
Awesome, man. I appreciate
that way you enjoy those.
For sure.
Obviously, every little penny helps and counts.
Oh, man. Tell me about it. This
anything.
is like a nonstop, expense hobby, It's like, it's crazy. I do like, goal-oriented hobbies. So like that, you have something to focus on, It's not like I just go to the gym. Like I see people year after year just doing the same thing. It's just like, no, man, I got to have a goal. If I don't have a goal, then just coming over here for routine, for maintenance purposes, it's just boring, So
yeah. No, I mean, you know what it is, man. You gotta keep it exciting, and with that, I would actually have one more question, and that would be, if you were to fight Van Gogh post cutting his ear off, would you win that fight?
Oh man, that's a funny one. That's crazy. I don't even know what to say to that. That guy was a master before he even knew it. He had no opportunity, and all of a sudden he died, and he was just a genius, So hands down, he's a champ, But,
actually, I got one more thing. I want the people to know this because a lot of people out there may think like, they may be on the same track as you. They may be an artist, and they may not even know how good they are. This isn't for bragging rights or anything out there, but again, in today's time, a lot of people are on the up and up, and they're trying to figure out what's going on in the world. How much was the best sold piece of art you've ever sold?
Money-wise?
Money-wise.
18,000.
18,000?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn.
I would love to sell one of those every month,
That is nice. But you have pieces everywhere as well.
Yeah, I got pieces everywhere, all over the world right now, basically,
Yeah.
And I got probably over 100 pieces here in inventory. Cool. And I don't stop grinding, so I just, keep accumulating. And, sometimes I want to change them, and I look at them and somebody will come into the studio and say, oh, I love that piece. And then I realize there's a piece for everybody.
Yeah.
Every piece that I've done has an owner.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's like something you may not be 100% with, but somebody else will come in and say, damn, I love that shit. It's like, that's yours then, And that's how it goes. Yeah.
That is awesome. I'll tell you what, I've never in my life banked 18 G's right out the gate or even hit a bonus that big. But I'll tell you this much. Guys, whether it's training, whatever the case may be, work, like he said, dig deep.
Yeah.
Keep driving because, dreams do come true.
Sky's the limit, man.
Yeah. Sky's the limit and dreams do come true. So whether you know it now or find out later on, you could be that person.
Yeah.
Shoot. You might even sell a piece that's 36. You never know.
Yeah, it could be a struggle for years and all of a sudden you hit it, It's like, hey, it just happens overnight, It's like, and I'm still working on that one, I got many fishing lines out in the water, and sooner or later something's got to pop,
That's what's up.
So,
well, that's it for us here today. I'm really happy you got to come by, brother.
Man, I appreciate
see
you
where I
having
work,
me.
obviously, instead of the gym.
Yeah,
and
for
everybody
sure.
think I'm a gym bum.
Yeah.
I'm totally not a bum. But at the end of the day, guys, keep grinding it out, dig deep, and if you don't think so, Juan will take Van Gogh in the third. He's a minute in. That's me. I'm signing out. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and Stitcher. I'll see you next week.